Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Property Room Geography. We have a great lineup of good stuff for you today, and our goal here today is really to discuss various ways to help you organize and structure your property room, from the physical layout to storage ideas, to shelving, security, long temp storage, drying cabinets, intake processing areas, and on and on. So there's going to be a lot of stuff we're going to hit today. We know that there's going to be a number of questions, and we really want it to be interactive for you. So our goal is to not only show you things, but have you interact with us through that process. And we would also just like to thank Lyra for allowing us to be here today. It's really a great opportunity for us. We're so thankful to be able to provide this type of training because we really believe in empowering agencies to be able to do their jobs really well. And it's beyond just software. It's beyond knowing how to do things well and to be able to have that training to do that. So Heather, I know you have a few things you'd like to share quickly, so I'll go ahead and let you share and we'll keep things moving.
Yeah, I'm Heather. I work at Kirkland. You guys have probably all seen my emails. I'm the Lyra training director. I just wanted to say thank you for attending our training here today, and thank you for File on Q for helping us put these on. And we just wanted to thank you guys all for being there and being a part of Lyra. And if you're not a member yet, we recommend signing up. We do have an evidence training with WSP coming up next month in April, and if you're a member, you get a discount for that training. So that will be coming to your inboxes sometime in the next week or two about registration info. And yeah, hope you all enjoyed the training.
Okay, great. Thanks, Heather. All right, we'll keep things moving here. So for those of you that don't know who we are an evidence management, we're really a public safety platform, but we really focus heavily on evidence management, digital evidence management, and now found property. And we are now actually offering this evidence management platform because we really know that there's a need to have a really comprehensive, fully user table evidence management system that helps you and empowers you to manage both your physical and digital evidence while giving you a high level of security, flexibility, accountability, and integrity, but being able to do that at a cost-effective price. And the beauty about this platform is we used to sell these solutions separately. Now within this platform, at this low monthly subscription price, you can get evidence on queue, evidence management, digital on queue for digital management, and now found property for your found property, being able to manage that better. It also includes all of your modules, your training, your upgrades, an RMS integration. So if you're using an RMS system out there and you want it to integrate with your RMS, we can do that. And so this is new. And so we've gotten a lot of interest in this platform. Some of you I know that are here have actually registered for a demo to see it, which is great. For those of you that are seeing this for the first time, if you're interested, let us know. There'll be some survey questions at the very end of this webinar when it closes out to let us know how we did and if you're interested in this. So you can let us know through that process. And because there's so much that's involved with our platform, we decided to do a very specific webinar just on FoundDrop that's coming up next week. And the reason that we're doing this is because it's very, it does a lot. And it really helps because it really helps agents because we know that you're challenged with the disconnect of matching found property to legal owners. We know that it takes an immense amount of time to manage that property, and it's often daunting. It just sits on your shelves. And so FoundDrop really helps solve that problem by doing what is really humanly impossible. It dynamically connects the property to cases across jurisdictions and boundaries. And for example, just imagine if you could connect recovered property back to the owners with or without a serial number through a simple search. With FoundDrop, you can. It does this for you. It also provides a fully digital victim reports that empowers victims to document and flag lost and stolen property, allow them to officially connect that property that's sitting on your shelves back to them. So these are things that we're going to show. Also, if you're trying to get your found property, recovered property back to owners and you're doing it through Facebook or through Twitter or through Pinterest or through newspaper ads or whatever, it's much more efficient. And finally, if you are an Evidence on Queue user, or if you're interested in the platform, it fully integrates with our evidence system or Evidence on Queue. So it does a lot more. Let's just give you a high level overview of what it does. If it interests you, please feel free to join this webinar. There'll be a question at the end if you're interested to let us know, and we'll also be including a link in the email that goes out tomorrow with also a recording of this webinar. So you'll be able to take the opportunity to register at that point. So as you know, everyone's muted, pretty standard practice anymore. I know you're aware of that, but like I said earlier, we know that there's going to be questions. So please feel free to submit those. Don't be shy. There's no, as they say, bad question. There really isn't. So please submit them. We know you're going to have them. And Shannon is going to be able to take those at the very end of the webinar. And from here, I'd love to introduce Shannon to you. I know many of you know who Shannon is. She's actually joined FileIQ back in 2004, so she's been with us a long time. She came to us after having 23 years in the criminal justice system in Washington State. She actually began her career in 1981 working for a criminal defense law firm, and in 1984 she was hired by the Benton County Prosecutor Office, and spent 11 years there. She actually worked in several divisions with specialized training and expertise in child victim forensic interviewing. And Shannon then spent the next 10 years as a police evidence technician and crime scene investigator, which is where she used our system for a number of those years. And so since then, she's been with us. She knows our software in and out, but she also knows your needs in and out because she's been there. And so she currently helps agencies prepare for accreditation. She rewrites policies and procedures. She helps with evidence room, assessing evidence-related procedures, and just so much more. So needless to say, Shannon is just a great asset to us, but also to you. And I know she's going to be available to answer questions even outside of this webinar today if you have them regarding what she's going to be showing you. So if we don't get them addressed here, we will definitely address those afterwards. And like I said, at the end of the survey, there's an opportunity for you to share any questions or thoughts that you might have. So, okay, Shannon, are you there?
I am here. All right.
Yay. All right, I'm gonna make you presenter.
Okay then.
So let me know when you get that prompt on your end.
I don't love that picture, by the way.
You don't?
No.
Oh,
Still waiting.
let me see. Oh, let me try again here. Make you a presenter. Let's see if it works this time. Oh, there we go. Okay. Didn't click
There
it
we
right.
go. All right.
There you go. Now we're thinking.
Now, whoops. Okay, what am I? Here we go. Ta-da. Can you see it?
Yes, it's coming through great.
All right. Super, super, super. All right. Thanks again for joining us. This is our second webinar that we're doing in a series of 3, I believe. And today I decided to title this Property Room Geography. Now you're probably kind of looking at me going, what? And like Craig said, we're just going to talk about the physical layout of your property room and what is where and how to organize things and store things and getting a little creative too. So this is so much of an audience participation class. I really wish I could see your faces and we could have all the interactions and the thumbs up and the boos and the hisses and that kind of thing. But unfortunately, we can't do that. So the first thing I want to do is I want to ask you guys a question. And the question is, your property room. Do you love it or do you hate it? Okay.
Yeah, so this question is going to be a poll on your screen, everyone. So you're going to get a chance to click and interact with it. So I'm going to launch that for you. You can let us know if you love it, hate it. I actually put it's okay. So maybe in the middle.
Oh, okay, sure. And reasons that you might not like your property room. Terrible lighting. You have to wear like one of those spelunking caveman hats with a light on it to go through. You've got old shelves that are falling apart, asbestos, mold, standing water. Maybe the building's been condemned. It smells really disgusting, or nobody really gives a crap about it, so you never really get any, funding or anything. So what are the answers here, Craig?
Okay. Yeah, there's the answer. I'm going to close that poll. I'll share those results so everyone can see it. So Shannon, only 16% love it, 21% hate it, and 63% it's okay. It's like marginal, like gets by.
Okay. Well, this picture that you're looking at here actually had all of the above of this list. This was up in northern Wisconsin. The thing that killed me is the pole right here, okay, that you have to walk around. And then also take a look over here on the left. This is their refrigerator. Look how much space there is between this shelf and the refrigerator. You literally had to, like, you know, be with your back up against here and walking like a penguin to get through there. It was a little weird. Now, for those of you who think you have it really bad, you know, they say no matter how bad you have it, someone else has it worse. This is at an agency in the Bay Area. And the jail happens to be on top of this property room. These pipes you see right here are the plumbing and everything from the sewer and everything from the jail. And these things right here, okay, these are big grindy motors. And so, you know, inmates sometimes try to flush stuff and everything. Well, if everything gets flushed down the toilet and they actually go through here and it grinds it up. Okay, so it is just horrendously loud in this property room when these grinders turn on. Yikes. I don't think any of you out there could say that you have this. Now, some of you, 16% of you said, I love my property room. And you might love it for a myriad of reasons. Maybe you have really awesome temp lockers that you love, your new DSM lockers. Maybe you have a really awesome, you know, software system that you like. You have high density shelving that makes everything look so nice, or you have walk-in fridges and freezers. Maybe you have some standardized packaging that makes things so organized, or even you just have a great workspace. And if you answered yes, then thumbs up to you. I'm so happy. What we're going to do is, this is 95% pictures. We're going to look at how other people do it and give you some ideas. Give you some ideas of what to do and what not to do. And what can you do on a budget? So let's start with your officer's packaging area. Really, you just need to provide a designated space, not the roll call table, the briefing room where they eat their lunch too, a designated space just for bagging and tagging and organizing their evidence. It needs to be clean and organized. This was up in Wisconsin as well, and they didn't have much money, but they had a room, okay? And so you can see that this table right here has been around for a very long time. And you can also see that I took this about 15 years ago because look how big this monitor is. And they set up a table from Costco, but at least the officers had a place that they could, you know, do their work. My personal favorite is their decor, the marijuana leaf clock. All right, officers love having stand-up stations for entering evidence. You know, they've got all their gear on and they have to sit funky in a chair when they sit down. So the Covina Police Department, back about 15 years ago, they had a really old department and they had just kind of this little nook here outside of their temp lockers, and they put the computers, but you'll see how they mounted them on the wall. And so the officers could just come stand up to the computer, do their typing, and they just loved it. This is one of my favorite evidence intake areas. And again, I took this a while ago, but it still looks like this with an upgraded monitor. This is over at the Kitsap County Sheriff's Office. And they have one of the nicest processing areas I've seen for officers. I do love the stainless steel top here that they can wipe down, got all of their supplies and everything handy. This is a huge room, by the way. I'll have other pictures of it. This is the officer entry area in Miami when I first went there in 2017. This was a little bit cluttered. They have since upgraded and done some renovations, and this is their new one. Nice new shiny floors, and they have put all of the monitors up high where the officers can stand, you know, to do their entry. This is another really nice packaging area. I love this. They've got a great big workspace on this counter. And then underneath, they've got all of their bags and tags and everything labeled. You can see here on the end, they've got, you know, their plastic for sealing bags and their brown paper. They even have it organized with labels to know where everything is. I love this. It's out of sight, but it's organized and it's still accessible. Oh, okay, not sure why. Am I going backward? Oh, gee. That's what happens when you hit backspace, Shannon. Okay, another thing that I love to see in officer processing areas are some, you know, how-to boards, some little bulletin boards. This is again over in Kitsap County, and they've put, you know, the actual envelopes up there, showed how they want to have them sealed. Here's one that it's, you know, it's a small area that the officers have, but it works. And this was just actually, I think, a board and some fabric that they put up. And then they put up examples of the packaging, where they wanted the label, what type of items went into each envelope. I thought that was very organized and easy to see. I really love this. This is at the San Diego Police Department. They have just under 2,000 officers. This is in their officer packaging area at headquarters. They also have 9 district stations, but I love how these are really big. They're laminated. These are poster sized, and I like how they have all of their supplies and everything right here, but they have very specific things like how to impound a cell phone, and they talk about what to do. Mouth swabs, what about firearms? And I think this is a really great idea, and it's laminated. Okay, why do I keep hitting the backspace button? Enter. Okay, so let's talk about temp lockers. You know, location, location, location. It is really important to have your lockers in a convenient location for both the officers and for you in property and evidence. Let me give you an example. My friends down in Killeen, Texas. Killeen is where Fort Hood is. So Killeen has, I think they're about 385 officers now. And of course, their property room is in the basement. So Vanessa's like, okay, it's time to do our intake. Let's go get this stuff out of the lockers. So we go out of the property room, we hang a left, we walk down the hall, we walk down another hall, we get in an elevator, we go up to the 4th floor to the lockers are in the middle of a hall. So she opens up the lockers, we put them all in boxes on a cart, and then we go and retrace our steps back down to the basement. She does that every day. Not anymore because they're in a new building, but I was thinking, why on earth are these temp lockers so far away? So it's important location. This is back to Kitsap County Sheriff's Office. Remember we talked about this stainless steel counter. So behind them, they've got all of their supplies right here. Here's their little fridge. They've got some butcher paper that they can tear off and use. And then right here on the left, those are the temp lockers. All right, let's look at some other packaging areas and temp lockers. Again, have them near each other if you possibly can. This is a beautiful processing area. They've got their computers over here. They've got a table that if they need to lay things out and get things organized. Their supplies are over here, their sharps container, their sink. I'm amazed at the number of property rooms that even don't have a sink or running water in them. Then here are their lockers. This is another really nice one. And I love this stainless steel counter that they can spread out and lay everything out. You've got their workstation over here, and here's their temp lockers. Let's take a little evaluation about your temp lockers. Not everybody has these fabulous DSM lockers because you're going to spend a whole bunch of money on these, like maybe not $100,000, but $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on these lockers. Some people just don't have that. Some people say, well, they tore down the high school and they gave us their old lockers out of the gym. Okay, that works. That works if you need them. However, in this situation back in Colleen, these lockers actually, you could pick them up and carry them away. And I said, you know, you could at least maybe fasten them to this grate back here. But they had all different types of lockers. So it worked. Back in Waukesha, Wisconsin, they had lockers. They had each one of the inside barcoded so they could scan which locker they got it out of. I love pass-through lockers. Now with these, they basically have to open up the locker and take it out from the front and then take it into their property room. Pass-through lockers are awesome. So back in Kitsap County, this is the officer side, okay, but then in the back, they open it up and they take it from the back side. So this is in, I can't remember where this is. It might be in Littleton, in their old station. So these were the front, and then back in the property room, see here, up here where my mouse is, that's the front of the locker. The officer puts it in. Here's the back that they open it up and remove it from the property room. I love DSM lockers. If any of you are looking at getting new lockers or getting a new station, look into DSM lockers. They are absolutely amazing. They come in every shape and size. You can have big ones, skinny ones for long guns. Some of them are refrigerated. Some of them have a drop slot. They're really, really nice. I really like this concept from back in the property room side. Each one of those lockers didn't have its own individual door. They have big doors that you accessed here, 10 lockers right there that you can just open them up. This is the back side, I believe, in Littleton in their new police department. So the officers had the DSM lockers out there, and then now you don't have all these individual lockers to open on the evidence side. There's just these that you open up. Okay, and here's the processing area now for the people in evidence. What a concept. They can just take the evidence, they can turn around and set it right here. They can organize it in however they want to in order to process it, instead of having to load it into bins or boxes and then haul it into your office and then spread it out on the floor, which is what I did when I was in Pasco and Kennewick. Back to these lockers. How many keys do you have? Now, the beauty of DSM lockers is you don't need any keys. These are what are called slam lockers. So they just open it up, slam it, and it's shut. And then you, on the opposite side, just take it out from the back. However, sadly, so many agencies still have keys. And so each one of these was a separate key. And they had to go in and figure out the keys to open them. And then I'm thinking carpal tunnel after you open up all of these, every day for how many years. These are in the old Littleton building where each one of these had a key, and the keys were right here on the wall. So the officer would grab a key for the locker, open it up, and then put the key in this little hole right here. So then Bruce and Chandra would have to, they would have to get the keys, get them all organized, open them up here, and then put them back on the wall. Now, I wish I was with you in person. I would look at your faces and then say, what is inherently wrong with this besides very time consuming? These keys are just sitting there on the wall. And I asked him, I go, oh, I see where are these? Does that mean there's stuff in the locker? Oh no, these keys have been missing for years. We don't know where they are. So we just can't use those lockers. Okay. Let's talk about drying cabinets. Back in Kitsap County, you need to have a specific area for your drying all of your bloody and biological stuff. You can see here's the drying cabinet right by their stainless steel counter. You'll see that they have a list here of when this drying cabinet has been cleaned. I love this one. This is like the creme de la creme of drying cabinets. I also love that, and these puppies are expensive. You might spend 10, 12, $20,000 on these. They're wonderful though. And I love this table. They've got the paper. So after they put the items in there, everything's dry, they can take it out. They can, wrap them up in the paper and submit them. It's really important to make sure that they are secure and make sure they are cleaned. I could go into a long dissertation about that, but make sure that you have some way of noting, is this a clean cabinet that I can put bloody stuff in? And then has it been cleaned? I like this, just a zip tie that's got the date and the time and the person who cleaned it. You also need to make sure you keep those logs about when these items were cleaned. So if there's any kind of discrepancy in the chain of custody or DNA or cross-contamination, a savvy defense attorney might ask about these lockers and when they were cleaned. All right, let's talk about standardized packaging. When you have standardized packaging, it makes it so much easier to store things. I used to, back in the day, we basically would get, free samples of packaging from, Specs or Armor Forensics or whoever, and would just sort of throw them all on the table and let our officers just pick what they wanted to use. But when you get into standardized packaging, so much easier. Like this was a narcotics vault in Baton Rouge, and you can see that all of the narcotics are in this exact same packaging, and so much easier to store and find things. Over here was down in somewhere in Texas, San Antonio, I think, that had this standardized packaging for their money. Limiting these packaging options makes it so much easier for you. So what I ended up doing when I got to Pasco is I took away all their packaging options and I gave them 4 options. We had A envelopes. And I put an example on my bulletin board and it said, here's some examples of things you might put in an A envelope: driver's license, narcotics, keys, checks, okay? A B envelope was money only, okay? C envelopes were like the big, like 9 by 11 or so, documents, large narcotics, things like that. And then D were the bags, and you would put clothing or larger items. I just realized that says D bags, sorry. Okay, that's where my mind goes. So let me give you an example. Bremerton PD is so incredibly organized. That's what they did. They had A envelopes, B envelopes, C envelopes. So you can see how easily stored they are, and it's so much easier to retrieve them, and you can put so many more items when you have them all in a standardized packaging. Let's talk about high density shelving. These are awesome. Again, they are quite expensive. However, if you're saying, hey, we're running out of room, we have to build a new facility or contract with someone to keep our stuff, it might behoove you to look into high density shelving, which would probably be cheaper than a new building. And you can put so much more stuff when you have these shelves. Hold on just a second, I need to cough. Okay. I have been battling an upper respiratory infection since January. So, so now okay, now we go. Let's talk about guns. There has to be a better way to store guns. Guns just sitting on a shelf, not very protected. And oh, I love this one over here on the left. Let's show a close up of these. Okay, look at these poor shelves. They are actually bowing from the weight of these guns. I really expected these to come crashing down. This was in the old Atlanta PD. They had, I think they told me somewhere around 25,000 guns. No, there was nothing fancy for them at all. They had these shelves for their long guns that they just stuck in there. And then these right here on the right, these are actually blue plastic bins they got donated from someplace, and each one held about maybe between 8 and 10 handguns. Not the most ideal, but I think they made the best out of what they had. Let's talk about stacking versus standing, okay? Up here we have these gun boxes, that great gun boxes. They keep your guns safe, but they're stacked, okay? So if you need one here in the middle, you have to go, it's kind of like a Jenga game. You have to go, pull it out of the middle, and hope that they don't fall on your foot. Or has anyone ever had an Uzi fall on your head? I did once. It didn't feel good. So anyway, let's talk about gun storage. Gun boxes are awesome. I really, really recommend that you utilize gun boxes. It keeps the gun safe. It keeps you safe from the gun. And notice how this is over in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I think over here on the left, this might be my friends over in Kitsap County again. Notice how they're just on the shelf like library books. And you can just go and go, oh, I need this one. You pull it out, you put it back in. You don't have to go through the game of stacking. Okay, this one, these are long guns. I'm going to give them an A for using boxes. I'm going to give them a D for stacking. So if you needed, say, this one right here, there's no way you can pull that sucker out because these are so heavy. So you have to pull these out in order to get this one out. That's just a lot of wasted time. Okay, now this one, God, I wish I could see the look on your face. So first of all, ooh, I'm going to give them, again, an A for putting them in like library books. And then this is actually a new grade that I made up. This is a Shannon Turner grade called what? I am so sorry to cough in your ear. I apologize. This is really tall. This is like 12 feet tall. So we all love ladders, right? No. I know that every day we all say, I love climbing ladders, said no evidence tech ever. To me, that's an L&I waiting to happen. And so why on earth would you get on the ladder and then, like, let's say you have to get this one right here. You're going to have to hand all these down. Really ridiculous. This is another example of ridiculously high storage, where this is actually above the water pipe and blocking all of the sprinklers for the fire system. Okay. Let's talk about long gun storage. Long guns are so challenging to find a place to put them. Do any of you actually put them in garbage cans? Please don't. Please, please don't. What about the pile O rifles? These were in California, and I just died when I saw them. Now, check this out. These are long guns in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and these gun cabinets were built by the jail inmates. I looked at that and I seriously thought I was like somewhere in Sportsman's Warehouse. They were gorgeous, but I thought they were, it was a very nice way to store them upright and not stacked on each other. Now, this is my personal favorite. I'll tell you why. You've got all your guns together. The top 2 rows are your handguns. The bottom ones are your long guns. Isn't that convenient? Let's talk about long items. Those are just challenging. You've got, the big wire cutters and you name it. This one's not too bad. I think this was a homemade system that they just put in little different grids, okay? This one over here on the right is very creative. I think this one was over in Kitsap County. I don't remember for sure. But the PVC pipe, that's really nice, keeps them from falling into each other. Okay, this agency utilized the stuff it method, which is, oh, I see a space, I'm going to stuff it in there. So I'm going to give this a big old nope. And I'm curiously, check out this one over here. We've got a hammer, maybe a crowbar, baseball bats. Things are just piled. So if you needed to say, get this item right here, you're going to have to empty everything off the shelf, make another big stack, and then put it back when you're done. So big old nope from me. This was a very creative idea that they have at San Francisco PD, which is actually where I am right now. They put the long items at the end caps of their big shelves. This is a huge storage area, picture Costco ×2. So they put this wire on the end, and then they just zip tied their long items on the end caps. Personal property. This, I think, was down in San Antonio. They used these tubs for stinky, smelly personal property. And they could pop it down with the lid, and it helped keep the stink out. And then after they took this stuff out, if they needed to hose them down, they could. I got to tell you about San Diego. They have a very big transient homeless population in San Diego. And so what they did is they have these containers that were, from the city, and in their outdoor garage area, they have all these huge containers that when the homeless stuff comes in, they put them in those containers. Each container is its own storage location. They never come inside the property room. They stay outside in an outside area that's secure. And then they can take them out, they can hose them down. Okay, again, audience participation. Raise your hand if you hate bikes. So I'm assuming I'm seeing this out there, okay? This is in San Francisco. Mario took this picture for me this morning. These are not just their bikes. These are just their evidence bikes. Wow, right? So what happens when, oh, I need this one? How the hell do you get there? That's, ugh. The bike winner, okay, if you have never been to the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office up in Everett, you need to go. Call Alex, call Karen, say, can we come see your really cool bike rack? This goes, it looks like a dry cleaner, okay? And it's on this pulley conveyor belt thing that goes all the way around their property room. Way cool. Let's look at some ideas for large containers, large items. It's great to have some shelving like here on the right. This is either in Coeur d'Alene or Kitsap County, I can't remember. Oh, it's in Kitsap County. And they have these for, boxes and large items. This is the bottom one here is in Littleton, where they've got, their big items. And then this over here on the left is in San Francisco. Picture Costco warehouse ×2. And they have these big gray containers, which I think are great. Okay, I want to work here. These two agencies, so impressed. I'm sure this one here on the left, you can probably figure out where this agency is. They have 3,500 officers, and they have, again, Costco ×2 or 3, and they have their locations were basically aisles like 1129, the 1100 series, the 1500 series. So what they did is they put in just like little street signs, and they named each section and row a street name. Okay, so, oh, here's the 1100 block of Flamingo Road, and here's the 1500 block of Flamingo Road. So we've got Charleston and Sahara and Desert Inn and Tropicana. I thought that was very creative. This is up in Calgary. This is what their entire warehouse looks like. I love how organized and neat it is. Okay, let's talk about, I have had the pleasure of visiting over, I think I'm over 200 now agencies and seeing different property rooms all over. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I wanted to share with you some concepts that I have learned. First, some agencies store by the evidence type. So they say, all of our rape kits are on this wall right here. All of our guns right there. Knives are all in knife boxes, and this is our knife shelf. All the photo CDs are in these drawers right here. And then our sized envelopes are all together. We have a section that's just for computer towers, so they're all lined up. Here's for all of the backpacks. Here's where we can store all of our TVs. Really utilizes your space efficiently. I've seen so many where, oh, here's the computer tower, and then we've got a backpack leaning up against it, and then we've got some envelopes stacked on top of the computer tower. So another type of storage method that I have seen is in by case type. I first saw this in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at their sheriff's office. Huge warehouse, they have 1,300 deputies. So they segregated their property and evidence by what type of case it was. So they had all their found property right as you first came in, and that was where all the found property was. I'm still amazed at how many agencies just put their found property in with their evidence. You might have a found wallet next to a cold case homicide. Then along their right-hand wall, and I wish you could see me, I'm being very dramatic and using my hands here. All along their wall, they had these big containers. She said, this is where all of our misdemeanors are. In the middle section were the garden variety felonies. Over on the left were their major felonies. Along the back wall were all the sex crimes, and then upstairs were all the homicides. The nice thing about this is this can really help you when it comes time for doing purge projects. So found property, it's going to go in and out really quickly. Misdemeanors, having them all on that wall, they're probably going to be gone after a year or 18 months or so. So when it comes time to do your purge projects, they're all right there in front of you. So hope you follow my thought process there. Now, also by packaging and container, which does go along with the evidence type. So like I showed you before, all our envelopes are here, all our grocery bag things go here. Many envelopes are all in this section, drug envelopes, oversized items, and boxes. All right, this was an idea, again, that I saw in Baton Rouge that I thought was very creative. It's just a small little office they had there, and these were their daily pending locations. You can see they went to really no cost at all. These might actually be laundry baskets. So they had, one of them was like for the DA viewing, they have an appointment today and these are the items right here. Here's the stuff that needs to go to the lab. These are the things that owners have appointments to come get them today. These sections over here are ones that our latent print section is going to come pick up. So they went out and they gathered these things and they had them all here ready to go for the day. This really helped be able to expedite when people came in and they had it right handy. They didn't have to go into the warehouse and take forever to find the items. Now, other pending locations that I recommend. Have a pending destruction, okay? Pending auction, pending return to owner, drugs pending destruction, guns pending destruction. I can't tell you how many times I've gone into a property room and I'll say, okay, what's this section over here? And I know very well what it is, that's why I'm asking. And they say, oh, this is our destruction area. I said, okay, so if I go grab, one of these items and you look in the computer or on your paperwork, what does it say the current location is? And they say, oh, they show it's destroyed. I said, but it's not destroyed. Well, yeah, but it's going to be destroyed. Yes, but it's not destroyed. Why does it show it's destroyed when it's not destroyed? Because we're going to destroy it. Okay, you see where I'm going here? If you've ever been to an IAPE class, Joe Latta says, do not mark anything destroyed until it is destroyed or auctioned or returned to owner, because First of all, it opens it up for liability. Things that are in a pending destruction or pending auction location, it means case is over. No one's going to come claiming it. No DA is going to need it for evidence. No one cares about this item anymore. And it would be very, very easy to just grab something out of the pile and it's in your pocket and nobody knows because the computer says it was destroyed. So it's very important that you create these pending, final purge locations. Now, we are done, and I have to share a story with you, one of my favorites. And I'm going to introduce you to Bill. And I lovingly call him Overkill Bill. So when I first met him, this was way back east in Virginia, up near DC. And I said, and Bill's, I'm going to say late 50s, early 60s or so. So I said, Bill, talk me through your process right now. Show me how you're managing your evidence. And he's all proud. He's like, okay, I'm going to show you. First, my officers, they fill out the property sheet and then they give it to me. And then I open up my logbook and I write each item in my logbook. Then I go into my evidence computer system and I do the entry into the evidence system. Then I open this Excel spreadsheet and I write each item on a line item in Excel. And then I have these 3x5 cards in this right here, and I fill out a 3x5 card for each case in the item in the case. And I'm looking at him and I just did not know what to say. And I think he probably saw the question mark, on my forehead. And he says, well, I was a Marine. And I'm just thinking, oh, okay, so what does that have to do with anything? I was a Marine. Okay, so I'm just kind of like pump my fist and say, "Oorah, Bill." And I spent a bit of time trying to help him understand that that was an awful lot of documentation that he really didn't need to do. So with that, I want to say thank you so much for attending today. I hope that this was fun and informative. And just like my last webinar, I will provide this PowerPoint, and you are welcome to have it if you want to have specific instruction or suggestions. Please call me, contact me individually, and I will happily provide you some ideas. Even since I'm in Washington too, I could even do a little road trip, come see you, maybe give you some ideas for storage and procedures. So I am going to turn it back over to Craig, open it up for questions or comments.
Hey, thanks, Shannon. Great, great information. If you have a specific question, either based on what you've seen or maybe an idea that's kind of running through your head for your own department that you would like to run by Shannon, or a certain struggle that's regarding to storage and maybe something can be shared, go ahead and submit it through the questions tab there. I'll leave this open for a little bit for you to be able to share those. So we don't have anything at this point, but I'll give everybody a few minutes to kind of type in their questions. And just like Shannon said, we're happy to answer these afterwards too. So after the webinar today, if you have something or a thought or a question or a training, at the end of the webinar, there'll be a little field there you can put those things into. So we can respond to those at that point.
Craig,
So,
I did see there
still
was
waiting.
a hand raised by Deb Smith. I don't know if that was an accident, but there was a little green hand raising. Maybe you're raising your hand when I said who hates bikes or something like that.
I think that's what it was. I think it's when I saw it go up. But if it's not, Deb, go ahead and share. So
I would
first we have
appreciate.
a
I think that
question.
you're going to be getting I think you're going to be getting a survey afterwards, so you can throw those in there too. Oh, here's a question. It says, is there a
Yeah.
place on the Seattle side of the mountains to destroy drugs versus going to Spokane? I have not learned of one yet. It's the road trip to Spokane, and I had to go there too when I was with Pasco. Man, it would sure behoove some company over on the west side to open up that type of service. I wish there was, but I'm not aware of any. Maybe Heather or someone else from the west side might know of one.
Okay.
So
That's
we
it
go
so
to
far.
Spokane for ours, but there is one in Portland, but again, it's not in Washington. And last we heard, they weren't taking new clients,
Mm.
unfortunately.
Mm.
And because we
You know,
recently did a drug burn in September and one just like 2 weeks ago because we had a giant grow op that we had to take care of. And Nucor Steel also wasn't taking guns this past year because of COVID. So
mhm.
Spokane will destroy guns too. So you can always do Spokane for
Okay.
a drug and gun destruction at the same time.
You know, if you're a small agency, and you don't have a ton of drugs, there's a company out of, oh, I think it's Utah. It's called the Drug Terminator or something like that, and it's an actual drug incinerator that you can get. It looks a lot like a big 50-gallon steel drum, but you can actually, your agency can purchase it and you can destroy. It's an incinerator, so you can destroy the drugs yourself if you don't have a ton. There's also a company in Salem, Oregon called Covanta, and there's a contact point at the Lewis County Sheriff's Office. Her name is Isabel Williams. That reminds me of a little funny story. When I was at Pasco, I would teach, well, Kennewick too, I would teach at the Citizens Academy, So I remember I was teaching one night and this cute little old lady was sitting in the front row and I was talking about everything from beginning to end. And I was talking about, destroying things. And she raises her hand and she's like, how do you destroy the drugs? So I said, oh, well, we have a departmental weenie roast and the sworn people bring the beer and the non-sworn bring the Doritos. And she just kind of looks at me and she's like, oh, okay. So, of course, I corrected myself and explained to her, but that was kind of fun. All right. Any other
Yeah, and
questions or comments?
yeah, just to bounce off what you said, the company is called Elastec, it's Drug Terminator. I actually sent the URL for the website to everyone here based on a response to the question. So you guys should get that in your questions there. There's an answer. And I also included in the email that's going out if you're interested in having some type of way of disposing drugs on site.
I've talked
We're
to
getting a
many
bunch more
agencies
questions.
actually who use that Drug Terminator, and they said it's pretty slick.
Yeah. And also, Jennifer shared that there's a company called Covanta in Salem, Oregon. I don't know if it's the same one that Heather
Yeah.
was mentioning or not, but okay. And she also gave the contact, which is Isabel Williams at Lewis County Sheriff's Office. So I could include that for everyone if they, in the email, it goes out for everyone to at least have access to that information. No more questions at this point, Shannon. Looks like
Okay.
these are just comments.
Super.
Unless someone else has anything
Well,
else, but we'll
thank
wrap it
you.
up.
Thank you so much for coming. And I hope that you had a few ideas. And I look forward to seeing you again when we do it in April, I think.
Yeah,
So,
it'll be in April. We'll get the dates out. And next topic.
okay. Thanks,
Okay.
everybody. Stay
All right.
safe.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Have a great
Bye-bye.
day.